There were a few people, not that many, who took my tweet and ran with their own narrative of it. I cannot control the opinions of other people. And a lot of these people aren't even in my audience. They're just random people.
This is a lie. This is the first just straight up blatant lie. You and Pedro L. Gonzalez have interacted before, back and forth. Hold up. I want to remind everyone that this is the thread that kicked off this after Vosh read it on stream, so I will reference useful idiots. This is what I'm talking about. I have several videos defending the LGBT comm against that map coup. Weird hill to die on, but at least they're dead. The absolutes stay to the left, says Pedro L. Gonzalez, and then Shoe says, Pedro, please, look away. In 4K, y'all.
I don't know what about me calling like this out makes me not left-wing. It genuinely feels like some massive psyop. Like, I want workers' rights.
Again, because you keep doing the heavy lifting for the right. You put out there, you put 4chan conspiracy theories out there, and then the right suddenly is like, oh, sweet, a socialist, a lefty saying it, it's valid. Oh, look, let's amplify the story. Let's promote it. Yep, it's gotta be done. We gotta rip this band-aid off. All right. It's just we gotta explore this story and just truly understand what's going on. I'm gonna give all of you a quick 2-second primer, just in case you're wondering what happened. Shoe0nHead for a long time has kind of been a character of interest to a lot of people in terms of, well, I can't really figure her politics out. Is she right-wing? Is she left-wing? Is she a libertarian? Is she a far leftist? Is she a social democrat? Is she a Bernie Sanders supporter? Is she a far right? I think the problem with, let's just say the labels, is when you get a label, so someone tells you, I'm a socialist, you assume that comes and your brain will rifle through a list of set standard beliefs that should go alongside with that, even though sometimes people can be like, well, economically, I don't think that others should be exploited through their labor, but also I hate the gays. You know, that's a combination that can't exist. It does exist, and like, just some people are like, I don't know why, I'm just so terrified of the gays that I hate them deeply, and so that's what I believe. So there's people who might confuse you if all you do is try to fix them with something. It gets worse when we add only 2 labels, the left and the right, because then things get even more tricky, because it's like, oh, yeah, they're on the left. And it's like, well, what do they believe? Well, they believe that dipshit protesters should get mowed down with my blessing if it makes all of these riots stop by right-wing militias. And you're like, oh, so that's a thought from the left. Okay, interesting. So there's just these 2 camps, and we don't really get to pick and choose. If you got more into detail, I would say that Shoe0nHead kind of is like fiscal social democrat, anti-police, pro-gun, but also has a lot of strange hang-ups and really seems to have problems with aspects of the LGBTQ plus rainbow, which is unfortunate because she is also part of the LGBTQ plus rainbow. It is always unfortunate with someone who is obviously going to be oppressed in one way or another for the way they were born, also participate in vilifying and scaring people for the very same reasons. It's exhausting. I've battled with Shoe0nHead a couple times, usually around Pride, when she comes out with just like, hey, by the way, in case everyone didn't have whatever's opinion is really popular on 4chan right now, here it is. Did you know that these weirdos are getting pretty close to children? I'm sick and tired of being gaslit that this is normal. Look how scary the gays are. Look, oh, they're wearing wigs and they're talking to kids. It's the same thing as molesting them, I think. So that sucks. Just nuclear level garbage. I don't think there's really anyone on who's like leftist, not on the left, but a leftist who still has some weird kind of, I don't know, illusion that Shoe0nHead is. Maybe Vosh, I think, might be like the exception to that rule. I can't think of anyone else, genuinely. I was racking my brain the other day. I was like, does anyone like not call out Shoe anymore? Like how many fucking takes does it take before you're like, oh, okay, so you're not working through some things. You just genuinely really hard hate aspects of the queer community because like you're willing to just amplify because it's the right. The right, unfortunately, they're the ones obsessed with the whole, we want to hunt pedos. And to be honest, on paper, that sounds awesome. if you were actually going after pedos. See, if all of you were going after child marriages, the Catholic Church, I don't know, actual pedophile communities, that kind of stuff, then I would have no problem. But it seems like Shoe and all of these pedo hunters, they usually focus on conspiracies. Now, it's fucking hilarious that Balenciaga, both the brand and the company, is getting tanked by this, because fuck Balenciaga. No fan of Balenciaga. Also, fuck fucking weird, creepy ass, edgy fucking ad campaigns by them. Yeah, gross. You know, but that's very different than this is an actual satanic pedophile cult, and the spark that has been lit by this, by Shoe, it's going all the way to fucking, I saw Jack Pasebic and friend of Shoe0nHead, Jack Pasebic and fucking Sebastian Gorka going after like Kylie Jenner's latest, like, you know, she's doing some photo shoot where she's covered in blood, and they're like, look at the pentagram on the ground, the clearly satanic, this is a blah blah blah, and you're like, oh god, we're back in that era. We're in the fucking Dungeons and Dragons shit. Time is cyclical. Like, this was a huge thing before. There's been so many of these panics. Used to be for violent video games. Used to be for metal, or death metal, or black metal, or various forms of rock and roll. Doesn't matter. It's satanic. It's going to possess the children. Dungeons and Dragons. Did you know your children are conjuring evil spirits when they play that game? What? Yes, it may even turn them homosexual. It's like, I can't have that. No, terrible. And now it's advertising and fashion. Now people are like, look, the pentagram, Kylie Jenner summoned the devil, and that's why she's doing that, to give a signal to the pedos and the Wayfair. I don't know. All this shit just distracts people from actually going after the causes and the roots of child abuse, all right? Again, it is overwhelmingly cis, straight men who are the people who commit the child abuse. The victims are not trans people. The victims are, trans people are more often the victims of sexual abuse than perpetrators of sexual abuse. In addition to, it is individuals who are usually known to the victims. They can be priests, for example, very close proximity. They have a lot of time together. It can be family members, uncles, parents, all those. Those are the people who need to be stopped. Those are the people who need to be caught. Those are the people who need to be arrested. Those are the people who need to be separated from civil society because they are fucking pedophiles. That's something we should work on, you know? That's something we can probably all get behind. Not going after the gays. Anyways, that's the saga up until now. So this is the response. We need to talk about this, Balenciaga, and why I was, quote, cancelled.
Hello everyone. Today we are going to be talking about the creepy Balenciaga photo shoot you may have heard of.
Okay, hold on. Predictions. One's in chat if there's going to actually be an acknowledgement of the lie that she spread, because she actually combined two completely separate ads and made it look as if it was one single campaign, and that's one of the reasons. It was I'm thoroughly debunked at this point, but that is what started the spark, and now there's entire massive Reddit threads on this shit. But anyways, one's in chat if you think that she's going to acknowledge what she did was wrong. Okay, wait until you hear. You're all just fucking throwing numbers out. One's in chat if you think she's going to acknowledge what she did was wrong, and then try to do some form of let's just say restorative justice. Two, if this is going to be POV syndrome to the POV syndrome to the max, zero apology, and just fuck y'all. Okay, so those are your choices. One or two. And don't spoil it to anyone who's already seen it, okay? I'm behind the times.
How I helped accidentally kick off Balenciaga Gate, the bizarre defenses of the photo shoot, and how I lost friends over it. No, I'm not joking. This is going to be a wild one. So get comfy, get cozy. I made you some hot chocolate. Look, it's got marshmallows in it. So for those of you who don't know, because I sure as hell did not before all of this, Balenciaga is a high-end fashion clothing brand that sells ugly shit like this for thousands of dollars.
0721, thank you.
I personally do not buy Balenciaga clothing. I am not a filthy capitalist. I buy my clothes on Amazon, like a good socialist.
By the by, yeah, fuck Balenciaga. Fuck. Like, if you're buying clothing and the materials that made the clothing are to a magnitude of 100 times less valuable than the branding of the material that you now are buying, I mean, you're a mark. That's all I can really say. If it looks nice, cool, really cool, but like, paying thousands of dollars for a pair of shoes that most likely were made in Indonesia, probably for about $7 to $12 worth of product, is absolutely absurd to me. I've never, like, even before I had read theory or anything like that, it just never processed. It never made sense. I was like, I could buy a Super Nintendo for the cost of that handbag. And it's like, yeah. It's like, why? I don't understand. It makes no sense. I cannot wrap my head around this concept.
Anyway, the company is currently under fire for their new holiday collection photo shoot. And when you see these photos, you will probably understand why. One was a little girl on a couch with a very worried, sad look on her face, surrounded by alcohol and holding a teddy bear that was...
Once again, I'm not here to defend Balenciaga. Yeah, you're trying to be edgy. Like, I can just see the boardroom where someone's sitting there's like, okay, so I have an idea for a shoot. What we're thinking is that we should have a young child. Well, how young are we talking about here? Well, young, very young. And then we'll put a whole bunch of things that probably children wouldn't purchase or be allowed to purchase or even have interest in on a table in front of them. And then we'll have a bear dressed, you know, not completely provocatively, but something suggesting maybe kink or something like that. And then I do have a question. Why? Just why? What do we gain from this? It's like edgy. It's provocative. Yes. Yes. People shall be provoked.
Wearing a full BDSM harness. There was other pictures of the girl laying on the couch, as well as another shot of another sad little girl on the bed surrounded by Balenciaga items, chains, and a whole ass leash. A little weird, a little sussy. Like, the pictures just gave you bad vibes. But anyway, to make things even worse, right on their homepage, right next to that photo shoot, was a photo of a purse on a desk. Seems normal, right? But the only visible paper sticking...
So, okay, the answer was no, she's not going to acknowledge it. What she did is she took this, which is a completely separate photo shoot, and she then put them together in her tweet. By doing so, that's what made everyone suddenly connect the dots and be like, holy fuck, we are through the looking glass. Not only is the child in that picture, but there's an actual printout of a legal court document that is related to pedophilia. This could not be more apparent. This is coded messaging. We are seeing the codes. And it's like, these are completely separate photo shoots from completely different times. Say what you will about Balenciaga's ad team being, oh, this is edgy. Like, no, this is gross. It's not my scene. Fucking, I'm not here to defend Balenciaga. But this is not evidence of a deep pedo conspiracy, which is what the internet fucking ran with this with. It's like, if you want to come out and be like, yeah, this is gross. Be like, okay, cool. And that would be the end. And then there wouldn't be an entire QAnon fucking-esque community hunting for secret codes now in all mass media.
From under the purse, the only piece of paper with any text on it, conveniently right there, was a court case related to child pornography. Creepy. Coincidentally, 2 days before this all hit the internet, Balenciaga left Twitter. Not only did they delete their Twitter account, but they deleted every single photo off of their Instagram.
Why do you think? Why would they? Was there suddenly an explosion online of people thinking that they're hiring secret pedo codes in their ad campaigns? Like,
Instagram page.
By the way, Shoe0nHead was not the first person to come up with this conspiracy theory. She was just the one to make it fucking explode by tweeting that out from her massive account that a lot of right-wingers follow, and then all of the right was like,
why are you running? Why are you running?
So I actually found all of this out because I saw a TikTok on my Twitter timeline by the streamer Brittany Venti, and she was talking about this. And I couldn't believe it, so I went to Balenciaga's website, and lo and behold, it was real. The creepy photo shoots, the CP document, everything was right there. So I made my own tweet about it, and this tweet winded up absolutely...
The brand, Balenciaga, just did a interesting photo shoot for their new product recently, which included a very purposely poorly hidden court document of virtual child porn. Normal stuff. Here it is. Zero acknowledgement, though. You get, Shoe, right? Why people might think that this is all part of the same campaign? why people might think that this is all part of the same, because you're saying that it's an interesting photo shoot, so they might see this even though this is a completely separate campaign, different photo shoot, different time, different camp. But when you lump them together, it does pretty conclusively show some pretty hardcore, deeply coded pedo messaging, and why the internet would now fucking run with this. Why online people would lose their minds. I had fucking normie friends of mine DM me and be like, "Did you hear about the Balenciaga shit?" And I was like, "What about it? What are you asking me?" And it's like, apparently they're like, they're deeply intertwined with this like secret pedophile cult. They're hiding pedophile messages and photo shoots. They've got photo shoots with kids and like printed out documents on the ground, blah blah blah, that are about like fucking child porn and shit. Like, it's so fucked up. People have been looking into it, and like I was like, oh my god, this has reached you. This has gotten to the point where you're going down this rabbit hole. And then I immediately was like, okay, so this is a person, Shoe0nHead. This is a tweet by Shoe0nHead. What Shoe0nHead has done here is Shoe0nHead has intentionally made it look as if this is the same photo shoot, when this is not the same photo shoot. This is from a separate campaign / photo shoot, and I'm not here to defend either photo shoot. They're both weird and gross. I don't give two fucks about Balenciaga. The fact that people are tanking Balenciaga now, fine. That's kind of actually fucking hilarious. I have no horse in the race for Balenciaga, but I am here to uncover the truth. And honestly, when it comes to child abuse, I'd also like people to point in the direction of true child abuse. You know, the majority of child abuse, child marriages, shit like that, the Catholic Church. Go get them. Go find all the secret messages in the fact that there's thousands and thousands of court cases of pedophilia within the Catholic Church. I mean, there's the secret messages. We have the documents. My God, we found all the secrets.
Popping off. I had no idea the entire internet started talking about it, because once a tweet of mine starts to blow up, I just mute it and just move on with my day. My tweet was all over mainstream media. New York Post even called me a, quote, eagle-eyed social media watchdog. Okay? This spiraled completely out of control.
It's deeply embarrassing for them.
People were burning their Balenciaga items.
There is just no PR team that is going to get them out.
This is so funny. Because, like, yo, how much are these products worth? I like burn Balenciaga, this trend. Okay, hold up. We got a detour for 2 seconds and enjoy some fucking very expensive nonsense. Okay, hashtag burn Balenciaga. Okay, here we go.
I'm not gonna lie, I act like I don't like these shoes, but kids are more important. And as they always say,
kids are more
you go
important.
woke, you go broke. Or this specific thing, you go pedophile, you go broke. This is a fire pit we just bought. I'm about to put him in there.
Kids are more important than shoes. I agree. Here's to that.
They're not serving God.
They keep trying to cancel me, I don't care nada. I see they exploiting kids just to run up commas. Brands keep going woke, they gon' lose dollars, threw away Nike. And now I burn Balenciaga. Now I burn Balenciaga.
Hey man.
There's even songs. There is songs.
You feel me?
Okay.
And now I burn Balenciaga. Balenciaga, let me get my 1400 bag. 100 bought teddy bears and
Oh, that's not gonna happen. Let me get my 1400 back. No ROI here. Okay, wait. Oh, I love how homie had to take his shirt off for this too, just to flex a little bit, like literally flex a little bit. It's like, yeah, I look good, and I'm hunting pedos. Chicks love that. Chicks love when I hunt pedos.
Oh, amigo, pero qué buenos abdominales mostraste en el vídeo. Ni siquiera me fijé en la ropa. Balenciaga en contra de bandillas. Vos enviáis y la quemo yo en directo. La quemo. La quemo. Quemo todo lo que me enviéis.
Me and a Hellcat burns all of his Balenciaga clothes because he doesn't want to be attached to child predators. Rich people everywhere are getting rid of the Balenciaga because they don't want to be attached to child predators.
Oh my god. What's wild is, like, sometimes people don't realize it's like there's little things on the internet. It just needs like a spark. Just a little something, and then all of a sudden it becomes this, and then it's just like it's gone beyond your control, and then it just spills into the real world, you know? Because like people always say, well, Twitter isn't real. Twitter's pretty fucking real. Shoe0nHead has fucking Thousands of people burning their clothes. I've never done anything on the internet where the next day I woke up and just thousands of strangers were burning their clothing. Like, I can't say I've done that. That's not in my my list of accomplishments.
TikTok users now started to destroy their Balenciaga items. In a new trend, users can be seen cutting or burning
Wow, how much money is being fucking...
It's a great day to burn my Balenciagas.
Oh, hell yeah, Karen.
We don't support any form of child exploitation or child abuse. And
Really? Okay, curious. I'm wondering, do you know where the rest of this clothing, all of it, is it ethically sourced? Your makeup as well, is that ethically sourced? Is everything you see before you? What about the metals, the precious metals that make up this Christ cross right here? Is that all ethically sourced? Every single, there's no exploitation going on at any point until you get there. All right, just making sure.
And these people are sick.
Don't lose dollars, threw away Nike, and now I burn Balenciaga. Now I burn Balenciaga. They keep coming for our kids, now we need to follow. Designer brands, then they hide, I know hell is hotter.
Did you build them with hake? Was what Wicker Man shit is this? Oh, that's funny. That's fucking funny.
Threw away Nike, and now I burn Balenciaga. Balenciaga, let me get my 1400 bag.
It's a great day to burn my...
No, you just lose your shoes. That's all. Okay, wait. I'm so curious. Balenciaga shoes cost. The Triple S trainer. Yep.
That over here. I'll never buy Balenciaga again.
That one clocks in at, and this is Canadian, I'm sorry, but $1,290 Canadian. Just gone right there for a fucking for an internet meme. Take that, evil corporation. Fucking bodied. How will they ever recover?
I'll never buy Balenciaga again.
Yeah, hell yeah. Stand up for the youth. Powerful. Annette, I gotta ask, Annette, how bad is life going that this is like a moment in your day where you were like, whoa, inspiring, powerful. This had to be a fucking on the toilet moment. Powerful.
Hey man, listen. Before you burn your Balenciagas, if you got some Balenciagas in a size, what I wear in Europe, in a size 46, DM me and you can ship them to me and I will burn them myself. Hey man, listen.
And that's the hero of the day. Gotta say, we went through all of them. That's the hero right there. I give you the hero, the gold star.
Making rap songs against Balenciaga.
Now I burn Balenciaga. They keep coming for our kids, now we need to follow. Designer brands, then they hide, I know hell is hotter.
Even vandalizing Balenciaga stores. Also, just so everyone knows, I am not suicidal. Just in case news comes out that I was found with 3 designer bullets in the back of my head. I don't think Brittany Venti is either, so if either of us, we do not have information that will
Oh, are you palling around with Brittany Venti again? Ugh. Why are all these fucking, like, 2005 chuds coming back into the scene?
To the arrest of Hillary Clinton. The best part about this, though, has to be I was fact-checked by Twitter, and this is what they said. Although Shoe often makes comments to cause amusement or laughter, this is an authentic Balenciaga marketing photograph. It contains an excerpt from the US Supreme Court opinion in United States v. Williams, which upheld a part of federal child pornography law.
I like that users added context, as in the right was like, just so everyone knows these are real Balenciaga ad campaigns. Oh, shit.
I've never seen one of these fact-checker things just be like, fact-check true. I know Shoe likes to get a little silly, but she's actually serious this time. I also love that it just says Shoe. Like, Twitter and I are just on a first-name basis now. Now, you're probably asking, Shoe, why would a high-end fashion brand pull this, like, Where's Waldo shit? Well, there are a few theories.
Okay, so, I can help you out here. One, you did it. So that part's kind of easy. See, what you did is you took 2 completely separate ad campaigns and you put them together to make the Waldo. You created the Waldo. So that was you when you did that. And that's why everyone is so like, holy shit. fucking, that's definitive proof. When really, it's two separate, completely separate, and yes, I will grant you gross and weird ad campaigns. I don't support or endorse Balenciaga, but it's definitely not evidence of some kind of pedo conspiracy. The pedo conspiracy becomes a lot more apparent when you combine the two as if they were one singular ad campaign. And then it's like, well, yeah, why are there kids in something on a printout of this fucking court ruling about pedophile? What the fuck is going on here?
The most obvious one is to just look edgy and subversive. Nothing like a good old controversy to get eyes on your brand. So if this was some kind of pathetic attempt at an attention grab, they sure got attention and much more. I wouldn't put it past
I feel like that's what this
to
is.
do some weird attention whoring like this, and I definitely wouldn't put it past the fashion industry. The other theory is that this is just a little wink, a little nod to the other freaks in the industry. Think the Wilhelm scream, but for like little St. James tourists. Finally, Balenciaga, the brand itself, came out and apologized. We sincerely apologize for any offense our holiday campaign may have caused. Our plush bear bags should have not been featured with children in this campaign. We have immediately removed the campaign from all platforms.
See, that in and of itself should have just been the story. It should have been like a handful of Christian fucking, I don't know, nationalists were super upset at this ad campaign. Like, my word, this is super offensive. Can you please stop it? And then immediately they stopped it, and that was it. And that's the entire story. We're talking about the actual ad campaign, not the concept of the two ad campaigns fusing into a fake third ad campaign that never actually combined existed. But like that's kind of it. And this is what you'd expect. Massive company tried to be edgy and gross in service of like causing controversy. It backfired horrifyingly, and then at the end they had to apologize and take it down. That should have been the Balenciaga saga. Not that Balenciaga is like running a secret pedophile cult and you have to burn all your Balenciaga clothing in some kind of weird ritualistic ritual and post it on the grams or the TikToks or that kind of stuff.
We apologize for displaying unsettling documents in our campaign. We take this matter very seriously and are taking legal action against the parties responsible for creating the set and including unapproved items for our spring campaign photo shoot. We strongly condemn abuse of children in any form. We stand for children's safety and well-being.
With Balenciaga facing a firestorm over a series of disturbing new ads, all eyes and ears were on their highest profile partner for comment. Kim finally released a statement on Sunday calling herself disgusted and outraged.
Meanwhile, her
It got as high as Kim Kardashian. And again, I mean, that's the part of the story that's kind of funny. I do, if it has to have the side effect of having Balenciaga get destroyed and all these fucking trash celebrities suddenly be like, oh, I have to burn all my 500,000. Here's the thing. Instead of burning all the clothing because you think it's like tainted by the curse of the pedo, why not donate that clothing to people who need clothing? Because like a lot of people around the world could probably use some shoes and probably use some designer bags and some designer coats and whatever the fuck was on your face. I don't know what those weird... Why did the sunglasses have to make you look like a superhero? Either way, not my scene. Donate it. Donate it to people who need it.
Ex-husband, Kanye West, after going on InfoWars and saying, quote, "There are a lot of things I love about Hitler," ran defense for Balenciaga.
And now all of a sudden, everyone is so outraged and focused on Balenciaga, but then we're still aborting our kids. We're still fornicating. But
oh, so you're starting to form a bit more of a cohesive essay at this point. It's like, okay, by the way, this individual who has both said that he loves Nazis and loves Hitler is also defending Balenciaga, the potential, I don't want to say it, but seems.
But we don't wear Balenciaga now. You shut the hell up.
So fellow paranoid schizophrenics started digging and found more creepy things in the photos from Balenciaga. And this has...
Oh yeah, the whole internet's having a time. There's entire Reddit threads that have been like exploding, then getting shut down, then exploding, then getting shut down again. I think, is Shoe still roasted? Let's see, reddit.com/r/Shoe0nHead. Yep.
spiraled into a much bigger conspiracy. This is the thing with conspiracies though, they're always rabbit holes. When there's so many things that are unexplained about the world and people just kind of feel helpless and powerless, people understandably start to look for answers elsewhere. And a lot of people took this Balenciaga
Oh my God, have you turned the self-awareness down to zero? What's going? Yes, you are right. The things you are saying right now are correct, and you're part of this problem. You're giving them, like, you're looking down at that, and then all of a sudden you're just like seeing a little teeny fire, and you're like, kerosene, and you're like, well, yep, you see what they're doing down there with all that fucking raging inferno? That's basically at the end of the day them trying to figure out the world, and it's like, it's kind of, hold on, kerosene. Yeah, it's just like, it's unfettered kind of madness in a way. It's just, it's so human beings can feel safer about the world around us, you know, that kind of stuff.
As just kind of the rich and powerful doing what they do in secret, now out in the open.
Do you see the
Do I
video
think
going
this is
into
some kind
Balenciaga
of
story? No, I haven't seen
thing
that.
where Balenciaga's like hiding children in their basement? Do I think they are literally trafficking children? I don't think that. I don't know that. I've never claimed to know that. What I do know is that this is a huge fuck up from a billion-dollar company. And when a billion-dollar company fucks up, who better to come to their defense than the progressive left? Can we stop pretending Shoe is an ally yet? Shoe0nHead belongs in a prison cell.
You were getting called out, Shoe, and oh god, we're going so fast into POV territory. Now it's, the rest of this is going to be POV, isn't it? Like, can you believe the things that were said about me? Can you believe the words that were said at me? People were upset because, again, you fabricated a conspiracy theory because you combined two different photo shoots, and like it's what fooled people.
For hate speech.
These aren't defenses of Balenciaga.
Self is basically a terrorist enabler at this point. You are a Nazi. Shoe is literally just a Nazi. Yeah, Shoe is a Nazi. Shoe0nHead is a fascist and a danger to our community. This is your daily reminder that Shoe0nHead is a Nazi. I'm sick of Shoe0nHead. She needs to go. No more. I think that if a button to deplatform her existed, we should push it this instant. Do you think reporting her vids would do anything? Hate speech and all? How about we mass report her Twitter? Shoe. This crosses a line. Shoe is a cum dump enabler for fascist violence. Who'd expected anything?
Yes, you are a famous person on the internet. You have a massive Twitter account. So do I. When I make a tweet, I am filled with hate comments. Doesn't matter how benign the tweet is. I can show a fucking adorable ass picture of my adorable ass dog. Yes, that one right there, coiled up like a little croissant. I could fucking post this picture online, and there would be people in the comments being like, fucking, you big-lipped lesbian, blah, blah, blah. Hope you fucking off yourself, fucking white Indian, all that kind of shit. It fills up with that. It does all the time. Worse now since Twitter took over. It sucks. It's not great. It's not healthy. I'm not endorsing anyone saying fucking misogynistic, rapey ass shit like this. But that's not at all addressing the criticism that you have faced in terms of you did a thing. You do those things a lot. Like, you did that thing with the whole "it's not gonna lick itself," where you showed the picture of the children in the chairs and you made it appear as if they were getting lap dances when they weren't. They were playing musical chairs. You didn't specify they were playing musical chairs. Like, you see, like in that one, I would say that was like kind of like absence of details, and in that absence, people were just left to put the pieces together. And of course, a lot of people were, "Oh my god, they were giving lap dances to kids. We must destroy every fucking gay bar ever." Blah. In this one, when you combine two separate photo shoots and make it seem like there's incredible encoded pedophilic messaging, rather than these are just disgusting, gross ad campaigns that Balenciaga is doing, that's the criticism you got from leftist figures like myself. And I also brought up the fact that, like, you do this repeatedly. And when you're pointed out, like when people are like, "Hey, this is what's wrong," you don't address that. You go down this road. This is the POV road. And this is the problem with big creators too, because like I find, and this has happened so many other times, when you criticize really big creators who are like, I know, like unable to take any kind of like criticism to the contrary, they always go full POV. It's always like, look at all the shit that I'm facing, look at all of this, look at all this, blah, 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 look at all these things. And it's like, those are horrible. Two things can be wrong simultaneously. You can be wrong for having spread misinformation. I've done it before. I've done it not with malice, with fucking stupidity, where I've like posted something and then after the fact I'm like, oh shit, and then I've had to delete it when people pointed out to me that I was wrong. That's a thing. It sucks. We do it. We're human. To err is human, but to acknowledge is divine. So that's the part where you have to actually be like, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't have put those two together and suggested they were the same photo shoot.
From a Nazi bimbo hag. She's fundamentally the enemy and should always be treated.
Oh, none of these
as
are
such.
defending Balenciaga.
People like Shoe and Matt Walsh are the types of people I believe committing acts of violence against is morally justified. Now, I just need to make this clear that this is in no way a representation of the entire left online. Most of the people who follow me are left-wing, and they agreed that, yeah, this photo shoot was really weird. The people who are mad about this are from a pretty small bubble, but nevertheless, lo and behold, I was apparently canceled. Now, I use the term canceled sort of sarcastically because I really wasn't canceled. It's kind of impossible to cancel me in general because I have 4 different fan bases and they all hate each other and me. And a lot of you guys watching this probably didn't even know all of this happened, but it was just very weird and I need to talk about this. Shoe0nHead on her way to once again use her massive platform to provide the neo-Nazis in her
I know who this is. you put this here, but we all know who this is. It rhymes with Handerhall. By the way, Pedro L. Gonzalez. We did a little bit of a deep dive not too long ago. Thanks to Hades Vadim for providing the receipts on this one. Pedro L. Gonzalez, yes, a pretty dangerous far-right figure who has the direct ear of Tucker Carlson and has shown a pipeline, a direct pipeline, between Shoe0nHead and the Tucker Carlson Tonight Show.
Audience with fodder they can use to justify the murder of gay people, but this time the day after another anti-gay terror attack. I'm sorry. Where are the gays? My post had absolutely nothing to do with LGBT people. The Balenciaga thing in general had nothing to do with LGBT people. Where did this come from? This guy took a random response to my tweet and implied I was responsible for someone else's opinion and therefore fueling hate.
Okay, so just so we can be clear. We are up against demons. The groomer problem is real. It's not a dumb culture war issue. These people want to rape your kids in one way or another and they think it's funny. So, Shoe, if you're unaware, which is kind of strange because you are part of the LGBTQ plus community, but if you're unaware, yes, so right now the far right are basically coming after all of us pretty aggressively, very aggressively, and labeling us all as groomers. They've been doing it in a variety of ways. If you happen to be trans and you talk about being trans on TikTok, well then libs of TikTok will take you, and then you're a groomer. And then what you were saying out loud is to groom children into an ideology of being trans, because they're trying to change the definition of groomer while at the same time knowing with a full, really strong wink that it also implies pedophilia. So they can be like, well, groomer just means you're trying to teach kids about adult activities. And then it's like, so is soccer grooming? If I take my children to a soccer game or they watch a soccer game, have I groomed them? That's an adult activity. If they play music, which is something done by adults, is that grooming them? Have I groomed them into? No, we both know that grooming a child by definition is trying to lure them into having a sexual relationship with you. So as long as you muddy the waters a little bit and then you fit other things that can basically be like, queer inside that pocket, well then yeah, now everyone can be labeled as groomers. And if you didn't know, it's happening very loudly and very vocally. It's not something that's subtle right now, it's something that they are screaming, okay groomer, okay groomer, okay groomer. You know, children, the ones that you purport to want to protect, they're getting terrorized outside of events where their parents are taking them to get stories read to them. That's what Drag Queen Story Hour is. If a person is fucking wearing a wig and reading a story to a kid, and someone is standing outside or breaking inside, even fucking worse, because that's happening too with the fucking Proud Boys saying, I'm here to kill my local pedophiles and shit. If they're standing outside screaming at them like John Doyle, the Christian fucking fascist, does, with a megaphone being like, they're cutting off your fucking kids' dicks, they're mutilators, they're pedophiles. What do you think is fucking gonna traumatize kids more? The story read to them by someone in a costume, or the people screaming at their parents outside that they're trying to mutilate them? Who's scarier? Which one's going to be an experience that is going to be fucking imprinted in their head forever? Might give them PTSD. Who knows? So this dude, incredibly dangerous. The fact that he has taken what you've done, which is combined 2 completely separate photo shoots as if they were one and made it look as if there was a pedo conspiracy, has now been wrapped into by Pedro L. Gonzalez as being part of this, by adding the groomer problem is real. It's not a dumb culture war issue. These people want to rape your kids in one way or another, and they think it's funny. They think the whole thing is part of the same conspiracy. It's always been. It's been the liberal elite fucking Wayfair cabinets trying to Pizzagate and QAnon your kids all the way to the adrenochrome. That's the entire fucking show, you know?
To my tweet and implied
Xander Hall was right. That's all I can say here, Shoe.
I was responsible for someone else's opinion and therefore fueling hate crimes against gay people. I'm just confused how Balenciaga posting an ad of kids holding stuffed animals.
So that's based on your history, because you've done that before, right? You've been one of the people all, like, why is it always around pride when people are actually just trying to celebrate existing? But one of the people who comes out and be like, I don't care if it makes me reactionary in certain circles of the internet. I don't want kids anywhere near drag shows. I was like, these are your hang-ups. You're doing the thing that Christian nationalists do or fundamentalists do. Fucking the things that ISIS does when it's just like, we want to restrict and police things that don't fucking make sense to us. I don't understand it. It's scary to me. And I think it's pedophilic.
And fetish gear turned into LGBT groomer discourse. Did I miss something? Look at the quote tweets and replies to her tweet thread from her followers. I have 500,000 followers on Twitter. I have over 1 million subscribers on YouTube. I am not
Amazing Atheist politics have gotten better. Yeah, Amazing Atheist politics have gotten a lot better. I mean, I don't know how much improvement he's done on that whole fucking 1350 cycle, but his trans politics have gotten fucking infinitely better. He's straight up like, I'm willing to fucking you know, throw bricks and shit.
the retard wrangler. There were a few people, not that many, who took my tweet and ran with their own narrative of it. I cannot control the opinions of other people. And a lot of these people aren't even in my audience. They're just random people.
This is a lie. This is the first just straight up blatant lie. You and Pedro L. Gonzalez have interacted before, back and forth. Hold up. Vadim's got the receipts on this one. Oh, I wonder how far back I'm gonna have to scroll to get it though. Oh, that wasn't bad at all. A thread about Shoe0nHead's recent brain-dead QAnon level tweet. Several hours before Pizza Get Detective, Shoe0nHead posted it was already a matter of discussion on poll boards. This post referred to two as the Gigaton pedo happening. Some blamed it on the CIA, talking of pedo F-slurs and K-slurs, of course, as Shoe would say, normal stuff. Then all of that is irrelevant because, golly gee, they're using someone else's tweet against me. This defense is practically a mantra for Shoe and her stands at this point, but in this case, it's almost more ridiculous because the sources were delusional QAnon dorks. What did I post? I've been talking about pedo shits. Oh, this is when I got fucking roped into it, when you pedo jacketed me. What did I post? I've been talking about pedo shit since 2017. Where did my post talk about LGBT people? It's a company doing weirdo shit. Zan used someone else's tweet as a jab at me, which is fucked up. I've never done anything like that to him. I'm upset about this. I'm not trying to mindlessly simp here, but for all criticism of Shoe, I think some delusional QAnon person used her post as a springboard to make bigoted statements isn't a fair thing to attribute to her. I can understand why she feels that way, and so do I. Of course. Oh, Claudia Brown, one of the fucking DGGers to the... That's actually weird, because DGG hates Shoe, so you would think someone aligned with DGG wouldn't... either way, the internet is a strange place. So what the fuck did she expect? If the source is a QAnon, gays are groomers-style lunatics, then it's up to you. That's what your post will inspire, dummy. But hold up. They're using someone else's tweet against me. So about that guy... That's actually in reference to Pedro L. Gonzalez, and here's where Shoe0nHead just lied blatantly in her video. So, Xanderhall says, Shoe0nHead on her way once again to use her massive platform to provide the neo-Nazis in her audience with fodder they can use to justify the murder of gay people, but at this time of day, after another anti-gay terror attack. And this is after Pedro said we're against demons, the groomer problem is real, blah, blah, blah. You already know that part. So this is the original quote tweet garnering at this point on November 21st, 2009 likes. So, Humble Magazine Salesman, Chronicles Mag, Mario Nazi, Taco von Ribbentrop, Adonis, Douglas Murray. Oh, cool. Good stuff. Pedro L. Gonzalez is a far right-wing loon who retweets Shoe often and turns her already bad tweets into absolute jizz fodder for crazy bigots. And okay, please don't conflate her calling out a company with giving Nazis ammo. Lol, let's look about that. So this is, I do not want my kids exposed to or thinking it is normal for adult men to dress as women and perform sexualized theater. The men who desire to do this specifically around children are themselves not infrequently sexual deviants and pedophiles. And so this is a back and forth, and wouldn't you know it... Oh, sorry, this is not the evidence one. Zan, please don't conflate calling a Nazi, blah, blah, blah. Too late, he did it and unfollowed me, just like Contra, the Serfs, Hunter. Oh yeah, so this is the pedo jacketing. Sorry, we're all over the place. Just like Contra, the Serfs, Hunter, all of them over pedo shit, normal and cool. I did not unfollow you over pedo shit. I unfollowed you over your fucking drag pride shit. And that's when I started pushing back extremely hard, because I saw the damage you were causing.
Clean up your room.
In times like this, Shoe could just retweet the ghoul, explain why he's wrong, and tell his hateful ass to fuck off. True. I gotta be honest with you. If someone quote tweeted me and they were a fucking neo-Nazi type, I wouldn't sit there and be like, this has nothing to do with me. Oh, I cannot control what the others will say and do, and if it appears on Tucker Carlson via this fucking link. In times like this, Shoe should have just retweeted the ghoul, explain why he's wrong, and tell his hateful ass to fuck off, but she never does that though. Why? Who knows? But this time, maybe it's because they're Twitter buds. Here's some key exchanges we should discuss with a cameo from me. I want to remind everyone that this is the thread that kicked off this after Vosh read it on stream, so I will reference useful idiots. This is what I'm talking about. I have several videos defending the LGBT comm against that map coup. Weird hill to die on, but at least they're dead. The absolute state of the left, says Pedro L. Gonzalez, and then Shoe says, Pedro, please, look away. In 4K, y'all. She's lying. She's lying in her video. If she's lying because it's with intent, or lying because she just completely and utterly forgot that the two of them actually do interact, and she knows him on a first name basis. Pedro, please, look away. Totally unsurprising that the Libertarian Party's response here is, what's all the fuss about pedophilia? Taking bets on how long before the party does map outreach explicitly. Why are you, as a father, so obsessed with the concerning growing normalization of pedophilia? She's lying. She's lying. Lying to all of you. Also, by the way, I guess I need to reemphasize this as much as, like, here's two communities that they take shit incredibly seriously. The BDSM community, for example, they often get accused of, like, hey, by the way, fucking, aren't you a bunch of sexual deviants? Don't you involve yourselves in unconsensual sex? No one is more focused on consent than the BDSM community. Holy fuck, do they ever take that shit seriously? They should be giving lessons to every fucking vanilla, mayonnaise, I only have sex missionary position motherfucker who doesn't understand how consent works. Because, like, they're on it, okay? I'm not part of the BDSM community, but I've interviewed BDSM people on the show, and what they know about consent will wrap circles around the average, like, you know, vanilla, I only have sex in the missionary position through a hole in the sheet kind of person. The second, the LGBTQ plus community is constantly and historically vilified as pedophiles or a danger to children. They always have been, all the way back fucking, like, we don't even have to go as far as the Nazis. You can go as far as you want. And so because of that, they have been diligent, incredibly diligent at protecting themselves and ousting pedophiles from their community. Pedophiles including organizations that try to associate themselves and protect themselves with the LGBTQ plus banner or rainbow. And no, they get fucking drop kicked, okay? They're like the MAPS problem, or the problem with other fucking groomer organizations, or whatever you want to call them. The fucking LGBTQ community fucking protects themselves. They have networks. They let each other know. As soon as someone has been fucking branded as unsafe, they are gone. They are ousted. Any community that does that shit, they are gone. They are ousted. So, like, the whole thing where it's like, you know, we have to go after this, we have to go after that. Did you know that, like, has anyone talked about this? Has anyone talked about maps? Yeah, the LGBTQ plus community has. Hey, it's Vadim. It's interesting to see Kyle turn into Jimmy Dore, while Jimmy Dore turns into Dave Rubin, and Shoe remains as clueless and useless to the left as she's always been. It's pretty scathing. I love when these guys use such telling language like this. Useless to the left. Like I have an obligation to be a tool for whatever they think the left is. Weirdo behavior. And then Pedro, if you're not helping normalize pedophilia, you are a traitor to the left, Shoe. They're on first name basis. First name basis, back and forth. She says Pedro, he says Shoe. It's a thing. Okay? It's like, she's lying. This is a lie.
On Twitter who found my tweet because it went viral. That is how a public...
Can we just reiterate how she describes Pedro?
Aren't even in my audience. They're just random people on Twitter who found my tweet because it went viral.
No, you know each other on a first name basis and you have interacted quite a bit. You are lying. This is you lying right now. Caught lying on your video.
That is how a public forum works. If someone is egregiously being homophobic or harassing people in my replies, I'll just block them. There's nothing else I can do. What do you want me to do about the opinion?
Oh, so, I don't know, if, like, I get quote tweeted and then it's a really big quote tweet by someone who's kind of fucking fashy, I will take a lot of pleasure in calling them the fuck out and going after them. Because that's what I like Twitter for. It's where we battle the fash. We get to go back and forth. It's the marketplace of ideas. That's why I haven't blocked anybody in my Twitter history. So, yeah, that's something you could do. Rather than going after Xander Hall, because Xander Hall properly calling you out in that moment, instead of going after Xander Hall, you go after Pedro. Because you'd be like, why the fuck are you going down this fucking groomer route?
Why don't you focus on what I said and did? Is it because I said and did? nothing wrong? I mean this with the most respect possible. Posting this a day after a
back to the
homophobic terror
POV.
attack that happened because the trans drag groomer scare comes off in
I forgot that was the timing of all this. Oh, it could have not been more fucking tone deaf. That was ridiculous. Yeah, you were getting one corner of the internet so angry about this Balenciaga groomer pedophile cult shit. Oh my god. And this was in the middle when people were like, you know, the rest of the LGBTQ plus, myself included, we were spending all day fucking pushing back against Tim Pool saying that, like, fuck around and find out. The wood chipper, people asking for wood chippers, what did you think was going to happen? Fucking, you know, no thoughts and prayers now. Those days are gone. You can't even expect thoughts and prayers from the right. They just straight up go into, like, well, you're groomers, so you groomed, and here's what's going to happen. Oh shit, look, Balenciaga, more grooming evidence. We got all this.
very bad taste. I think choosing to bring this to light right after the shooting is phenomenally poor taste. Shoe0nHead throwing queers under the bus right after a mass shooting to cater to her homophobic audience.
I mean, I could be wrong on this. I don't know. I'm not blocked yet, so you can still check out her page. But did she make any tweets about the Colorado shooting outside of the Balenciaga stuff? Not that this is associated. From November 21st, Eagle Eye social media watchdog. Elon Musk confirms he won't reiterate Alex Jones on November 20th. November 20th. So you went, okay, so you posted this on November 20th. Normal stuff. Interesting timing. They deleted their Instagram. And then November 20th. I love this website. Good night. That was November 19th. So there's nothing.
There was a mass shooting in a gay club in Colorado a few days before this Balenciaga thing broke. And because there was a shooting at a gay nightclub, I can't talk about pedophilia? What? To shitpost the LGBT community on f***ing Trans Day of Remembrance is so disrespectful, I don't even know what to say. Same vibe as criticizing veterans on Veterans Day. Let me get this straight. Criticizing a fashion brand for pedo-baiting on Trans Day of Remembrance.
What is pedo baiting? What are they trying to attract pedophiles to their products? Are they trying to sell their products to pedophiles? Are they trying to activate pedophiles? Do they think that in their council of pedo, that at certain points, if we just do the right combination of things, we may activate all the great pedos and they will attack at once? Like, what are you saying out loud right now? The thing is, I think people will find it incredibly tone deaf that you're spreading a like 4chan tier, QAnon tier conspiracy theory on the day of that shooting, and it's being utilized by a lot of people on the far right, of which you are friends with and have had interactions with, who are now trying to associate it directly with grooming, and again associate that with LGBTQ+. That's what happened. You don't have to play dumb on this one.
Is the same as criticizing veterans on Veterans Day? Bro, you don't even need the far right at this point. You're doing their job for them.
Is this why you dress like a nana or something? Is this supposed to be like, you know, old grandmother like yells at cloud?
What the f? Even if I saw it from their perspective, like even if I removed my brain and replaced it with a little toy monkey with symbols or whatever they have going on up there, even if I saw it from their point of view, if the issue they have with all of this is that I shouldn't be talking about this at a time where gay groomer rhetoric is popular, why aren't they mad at Balenciaga for doing an ad like this at the time the gay groomer thing is popular?
No one was defending Balenciaga, though. Did you see anyone come out, like any big accounts or even small accounts, anyone who's in the LGBTQ+, be like, oh, whoa, but this is our shit. We love this ad. How dare you go after the company? We love Balenciaga. How dare you go out? No. They were like, why are you spreading the 4chan shit today? Like right now, most of the, you know, the LGBTQ is fucking fighting online with right-wingers who are like, you're all groomers. Holy shit, look, Balenciaga is also a groomer organization. Groomers.
Why aren't they directing their anger?
I hope Balenciaga and Gucci go under. Yeah, I will shed no tears. I mean, like I said, the only positive outcome from this is this Balenciaga's getting roasted. Yeah, okay, cool. I don't care. Goodbye. People paying outrageous amounts for products that fucking $1,200 for a pair of shoes. How much in terms of people, again, children in Indonesia probably, manufacturing those shoes, really went into it? Like, of the 1,200, I'm gonna say tops 20, 25 $5, maybe. Fucking, it's disgusting. The entire industry is revolting from the ground on up. It's unsustainable, it's exploitative, it exploits people in other countries because labor is cheaper there, all the way up to it exploits people who can't even fucking afford that shit because it's like, hey, yeah, you gotta pay $1,200 for a pair of sneakers. It's like $1,200 for a pair of shoes. Okay. And that's, I'm sure, considered on the cheap end for the fucking
the brand.
The brand.
Why are they shooting the messenger? The worst part about this is that this tweet came from a YouTuber who I've been friends with for years. Why is this person who I thought was my friend doing this unhinged Stretch Armstrong reach to imply I am responsible for the murder of LGBT people? This isn't how you would treat a friend.
That's not what Xandral said. Do you realize why people get so mad at you, Shoe? And like this video is fucking case in point. You haven't listened to a single criticism anyone levied at you. You go full POV. It's like, whoa, all these people are calling me out. Oh, well, let me find some of the worst comments and show you how terrible my life has been. It's like, you're doing so much heavy lifting for the far right, though. You spread their conspiracy theories on Maine that they can then use, like, and it gets all the way to fucking Tucker Carlson tonight that it's not gonna lick itself, which turned out, like, you even apologized for that. You rescinded that one because you were like, yeah, it's fucked up that it got as far as it did, and some of the worst people that I consider enemies were basically fucking using this to vilify people I love. It's like, no shit, you keep throwing LGBTQ plus people under the bus. And it's fucked because, like, I'm not one of those weirdos who does bi erasure. I mean, I'm bi. It would be weird. I would have to erase myself. But I'm like, I don't get why you keep doing this. It's all for culture war bullshit. And if you wanted to protect the kids, sure. Why don't we go after fucking Balenciaga labor practices? Why don't we go after fucking what is appropriate for kid models to be a part of, and why we don't have stricter laws that prevent them from being in photo shoots that may be fucking gross and exploitative? Why don't we go after organizations that are known rife with pedophiles? The Catholic Church is a very big one. We could go after that. They're very hard to take down, but fuck, that war certainly needs a lot more soldiers. What about fucking the Indian residential school system in Canada? What about trying to, like, fight on the behalf of all the kids who were raped there and fucking get them reparations? You know, those kind of things that will actually have tangible benefits, not 4chan conspiracy theories that will have a whole bunch of people hunting for pedo codes. Like, the pedo codes is such a fucking waste of time.
This isn't criticism, this isn't a joke, this is disgusting. I just don't understand, like, if you had a problem, why didn't you come to me in private? Why did you have to make it into some public?
So, by the way, I used to do that. 2 years ago, I think, was one of the first really bad Shoe0nHead things, and I've interacted with her. She's come on my stream before. We DM'd each other back in the past. So I was just straight up, I was like, hey, by the way, like, you're so off base here. Kink at Pride, like, if you look at the history, I don't know if you know this from, like, Stonewall onwards, but, like, Kink has been a fundamental part of Pride. Because, like, Pride was a fucking protest back in the day. It wasn't a celebration. It was people fighting to fucking survive. You know, their skulls were getting cracked in. They were getting dragged and fucking hung and fucking, it was brutal. And like, leather daddies played a very significant role in fighting for the rights of queer people, and like, for them to be able to not be ashamed or afraid of who they are and to be able to walk in fucking public is a huge fucking thing. Something that if you take away, you are clawing progress back. So this whole, like, fucking, there can't be people dressed in Kink at Pride. Like, all Pride events, by the way, already deal with this. They have dress codes. You cannot walk around with a fucking giant realistic cock dangling fucking in front of you that you suck on in the fucking public Pride events where, like, there will be children present. There are rules against that. You can't run around naked at those events. The public events where there will be children present. There's very X-rated ones that take place later where you can see anything and any one of the Christian delights that you want to under the sun. But goddamn, you know? And like, I made a video on it. It seemed like she was kind of receptive about it. She ended up deleting one of the tweets, and then next year it was like 10 times worse. Next year it was like fucking straight up, you know, I don't want kids anywhere around drag. I'm sick of being fucking gaslit. The drag is not fucking a danger to children. This is blah blah blah. And you're just like, Jesus. So this is just you. Like, I think you refuse to like budge on any of these issues, and like even though you're part of the LGBTQ plus, you're one of the people in the LGBTQ plus who does not like other aspects of it, and you want other aspects to not be involved.
Like sideshow, epic dunk for the world to see. Maybe this is karma because I've dropped friends over politics before. Because honestly, I can't find any other explanation for this. But this wasn't even political. Like I couldn't think of an optically worse thing to drop.
How is it not political? Jesus Christ. Can everyone please learn the definition of politics? Okay? I'm tired of having to fucking watch videos where people are just like, oh, just because I don't like black people in movies, that's not a political stance. That's just like, that's my thought on movies. And you're like...
Like, I know you used to be right-wing. Personally, I can't relate. But not everything related to pedophilia has to do with gay people. Shoe needs to stop with the conspiracy posting. Ah yes, the conspiracy. The conspiracy that the fashion industry is f***ed up and weird. The conspiracy that the powerful elites are abusing children.
No one is pushing back on either of those points. The conspiracy that you took two completely separate photo shoots and mashed them together. That one. The one you've been called out on. That you're not acknowledging. Now it's just fucking, oh yeah, so sorry I fucking had the bravery to call the elites out.
That conspiracy. The worst part is she pretends to be gay so she can yell homophobe when you call.
Yeah, so I'm never gonna defend these takes. Quit doing fucking weird ass bi-erasure. Y'all are just weirdos if you do that shit. That's no defense for me there.
Pull her out. I'm convinced Shoe has no real political opinions and just says / believes whatever.
The left will never win, Lamau. We suck at doing anything smart. We attack one for saying a pedo ad is gross. I'm not attacking her for saying the ad was gross. Were you watching? There is no one defending Balenciaga. If she destroys Balenciaga, that's fucking hilarious. What a funny outcome and a positive one in my mind. A net good for society. I'm fucking calling out that she took two completely separate photo shoots, fused them together to make it appear as if they were the same thing, and launched a fucking firestorm of people doing pedo hunting for fucking secret codes. If you want to go after pedos, go after the real fucking pedophiles. Go after child brides. Why doesn't anyone talk about that? Hundreds of thousands of child brides, both in America and some in fucking Canada. Yeah, I'm calling out Canada too on this one. Why don't we bring this up? Why don't we fucking start exposing that? Why don't we try to pass legislation that makes it illegal to have children marry adults? That would be a positive thing. But now everyone is spending all their time online being like, another Balenciaga ad, as you see here, the Star of David is upside down and points at the letter B. B stands for boys, so that's obviously a coded message, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, what the fuck is happening? What a waste of fucking time. All of this.
Begging people to finally realize Shoe is literally just right-wing. Shoe is a conservative, no matter how many lefties try to say otherwise. There's a term coined by Lindsay Ellis that I think fits Shoe. She's a diet Nazi. Shoe0nHead is a right-wing propagandist. She is likely paid to be so either directly or indirectly. I hate Shoe. She's not a leftist. She's a fascist who wants healthcare. Does this look like a fascist to you? She needs to be kicked out of the left like yesterday. She is a fascist. If you are denying it at this point, you are just a simp. Shoe0nHead is a right-wing paid propagandist infiltrating leftist spaces. She's a calculated and insincere plant.
Okay,
I would have left the left like 8 years ago. I know it's hard for these people to understand because their extent of politics is quite literally Discord servers and Reddit communities. You cannot be kicked out of opinions. Like, I could call myself a right-winger right now, but I would be the shittiest right-winger ever, probably on account of the whole, I don't know, socialism thing. The whole being a socialist might get in the way. But more importantly, I don't know what about me calling shit like this out makes me not left-wing. It genuinely feels like some massive psyop. Like, I want workers' rights.
Again, because you keep doing the heavy lifting for the right. You put shit out there, you put 4chan conspiracy theories out there, and then the right suddenly is like, oh, sweet, fucking a socialist, a lefty saying it, it's valid. Oh, look, let's amplify the story. Let's promote it.
And for people to have their basic
Chico, big stretch.
I didn't sign up.
Okay, so what you just witnessed, Chico eventually, if like daddy gets a little too loud in the whole stream, he tolerates it. He has levels, but he'll coil up for a while. But eventually he's like, you know what? Sleep is more important than super close proximity to you. And then that's when he leaves.
For this weird ass shit. I'm just so tired of like trying to prove to these people that I'm left wing. I'm just tired of being like, no, you don't understand. I voted for Bernie in 2016 and in 2020.
Yeah, okay, so I guess I'll explain this one really quickly. So yeah, It's weird. It's just strange that people are trying to use Shoe in some weird kind of manipulative way. That's kind of what Sargon of Akkad was always doing, as was the right. And you remember when they were all melting down because she was like friends with Vosh, and all of a sudden it's like, no, Shoe, come back to a Shoe. No, things were so wonderful before. I mean, come on. Do you really want to hang out with them? They're filthy communist, Shoe. My God. And that, you know, that was funny. But yeah, I'm not here to say, Shoe, you have to be a better leftist. Shoe, you... No, I'm here to call out the shit takes, as I do with everyone else. It doesn't matter what part of the political aisle they're on. And you're doing, again, the heavy lifting for the right and then lying about it. That's the other fucked up thing, because, like, there are people who I deeply disagree with, who I will do like a video on in very good faith and very respectively. I think I've done 2 or 3 on Shoe, by the way, where like I am not mean. I don't go for edgy jokes. I don't go for fucking, you know, fucking ripping into her or anything like that. I'm just like, hey, I just want to explain the history of Stonewall. We'll go through it. I released a video, that kind of stuff, you know. I think at a certain point, it just became incredibly apparent to everybody that like there is no part of Shoe that doesn't want to stop throwing LGBTQ plus people under the bus. And I understand. This is separate from the Balenciaga thing. Why would you ever associate the two? No, this is not even supposed to be an LGBTQ plus issue, even though this is caught in the middle of this whole Xander Hall versus you thing, and you getting super upset at Xander Hall for calling out a fucking far-right reactionary who uses this once again to then fucking contribute to the vilification of gay people. Like, if the far-right friend of yours, Pedro, if Pedro, the one you call by his first name, if your far-right friend, Pedro, the one who gets your shit onto Tucker Carlson, that Pedro, if he is going out and being like, well, fucking, these are the fucking the groomers, blah, 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 you know, all that kind of stuff, yeah, that's what they're using this shit for. Just because you didn't outright say, and by the way, the kink, the kink that the bear is wearing or whatever, yeah, that definitely skews a little bit more LGBT. Just, you don't have to say that. He's the one saying it. He's like, oh, yes.
I believe this and I believe that. I'm tired. I'm too old for this shit. I am exhausted. These people just want me to be some like progressive little shit lib rising from the ashes of like the anti-SJW world. They want me on my hands and knees groveling and apologizing for making like stupid level 1 baby edgy jokes about attack helicopters 5 years ago. They want me saying we need to destigmatize pedophilia, or want me simping for the CIA, or whatever the f these people are up to nowadays. And it's like, no, not gonna.
What the fuck? No one is asking you to do any of that. What are you saying? I would just be happy if you stopped throwing LGBTQ plus people under the bus. That's it. Like then everything fucking, I don't care. Keep fucking doing your weird ass pedo hunting. Keep doing whatever it is you do. Go after maps for the fucking 4,000th time. Do whatever you want to do. Just stop fucking throwing LGBTQ plus people under the bus. That's it. Normalizing pedophilia? What are you talking about? Like, I know you already dropped that tweet where it's like, yeah, Contra and the Serfs unfollowed me over PETA shit. Like, fucking kind of sus. It's like, what the fuck are you talking? I unfollowed you because you will not stop vilifying gay people, queer people, trans people. It's your thing. It's like, oh, I don't understand this aspect of the culture. A dude put on a wig and he read a story to a kid. That's pedophilia, right? No, that's not. No, pedophilia is pedophilia. You know, when someone sexually molests or fucking goes after children, that's pedophilia. That's just a man wearing a wig talking to a kid. That's all that is.
Gonna happen. Sorry. What's so funny is a lot of these content
and fucking brave take. You know how fucked that is? That's like me making a video, fucking, you know, put some song in the background. Shoe0nHead wants me to fucking say pedos are fucking awesome and poggers. Fuck that noise. Never gonna do it. Never gonna say that, because fuck them. Fuck them. Ah, she'll never convince me. And you're like, no, she never said that to you, Lance. She never wanted you to do that.
Creators do agree with me, but they won't say so in public. Like, they DM me and they're like, oh, you're so right, instead of just doing it publicly because they fear their own audiences. It's literally so sad. It's like an abusive relationship. But I just want to go.
I've never understood that one too. Like, maybe some people do. Maybe some people are genuinely like, oh god, if I do the wrong thing, I'll upset the people who pay me the monies. But like, I've fucking been canceled by aspects of my audience before. I've been fucking aggressively pushed back by aspects of my audience before. Like fucking, there was an entire weird ass liberal side of Twitter that I guess I shuck off the last libs who followed me around the time that I was like, oh, by the way, Canada enacted genocide against Indigenous people, and that process is ongoing. And that sentence was apparently so controversial that fucking every fucking content creator on Twitch, all the way from Destiny on down, was just like, blah, 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 blah. What? How dare he say the thing? Like fucking Bastio was like, oh, then if Lance thinks this, then maybe we should invade Canada and stop the genocide. And then fucking other people replied, like, it was just the whole thing. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? I didn't know that was a spicy take. Didn't know that was controversial.
Back to the more important, less personal aspect of this whole thing, and that is
that's POV, by the way. That's me doing POV syndrome
and
right there.
Right wing who are comparing the two. They have been doing this since the 1950s.
DODGES arc makes Tulsi look like a shocking series of twists and turns. You need to have a watch like blind spot to give this girl benefit of the doubt for this long. I would not, in all fairness, I would not equate her with Tulsi. Tulsi has gone to the far extremes. Tulsi's like fucking doing rallies and shows with Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh is an extremist. The guy's a stochastic terrorist. Like that's extreme. Shoe0nHead is nowhere near there. Shoe0nHead just consistently and regularly just will throw other people in the LGBTQ plus under the bus, especially come fucking Pride, because she has hangups. And like, that sucks, because clearly she can't work through them or figure it out, or just can't, like, goddamn, go on YouTube for 2 seconds, watch the video of like what Drag Queen Story Hour actually is, where it's like, it's a guy in a costume reading to kids and playing the violin. It's the most wholesome thing in the world. You would never flip out about this if this was fucking not a right-wing culture war issue. No one would. Anyone who sees it is like, oh yeah, whoa, that's wholesome as fuck. That's just kids being read a story to by someone in pageantry, someone wearing a fucking costume. Why is this so scary? Why has everyone led me to believe that this is like some weird pedophile groomer cult? It's the most wholesome thing in the world. If she could just do that and then take a step back, and not every single time there's like a Drag Queen Story Hour event suddenly be like, oh, I'm sick of being gaslit, that this is okay. Like, what the fuck? And by the way, that's why Contra unfollowed you. Wasn't for pedo shit. So fucked up for you to say that. Like, that's so fucked up for you to say that to the two of us. To be like, the Serfs and Contra points unfollowed me because of pedo shit. It was not because of pedo shit. It's because you think a guy wearing a wig is raping kids. That's what that was. And yeah, I'm fucking sick of it, so I unfollowed you.
The pedo smear has been thrown at gay people for decades. There's always been people on the right who will compare all the things I talk about, like the maps and stuff, to gay people. Like, but it's very clear from my content, if you've watched my content, which I really don't think a lot of these people who are mad at me have done, it's very clear from my content that I've always pushed back on this. But what is new to me is now liberals coming out and saying I can't talk about this stuff, and that talking about it is somehow inherently anti-gay. Which, when you think about it,
why is she dressed like a pilgrim? I don't know. I don't know if it's like a... I have no idea.
Is really, really bad. Shoe has never been a leftist. She's a right-wing reactionary.
We're back to the fucking
trad
POV
wife
shit.
who has an unhealthy
Not even halfway done
obsession
this.
with making false equivalences between LGBTQ people and pedophiles. So first of all, let's be very clear here. I have been doing the opposite of this my entire career. This has been one of my focuses on this channel for years. And do you know what one of the core messages of a lot of those videos were? They are now trying to squeeze themselves into the LGBT community. And do not be mistaken, the LGBT community ain't having that shit. You cannot sit with the LGBT community. You can't sit with us! And for the people who go, must slippery slope, you're fueling the delusions that they did actually successfully.
It's still the same song. What is this going on? Like 9 years? 9 years, hundreds of videos. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun.
Successfully break their way into the community. They're latching on a movement that is currently, finally, seeing acceptance, which makes them snakes.
Oh,
there's literally nothing more dangerous about pedophilia than any other sexual attraction when you think about it.
You hear that, guys? There is no difference between an adult consensually having sex with another adult and an adult having sex with a child. Amazing! We learned so much on this channel!
But right now, since gays and transgender—
Ugh, MOC, gross. By the way, I just want to point out, what Shoe does is Shoe takes a lot of like right wing and usually far right culture war talking points, such as let's go after maps and the vilification of maps, and try to go after them from a perspective that there's like, yeah, there's some gay people in the LGBTQ and they don't want to tolerate it. It's gross, but like we have to talk about maps and what like, yeah, the LGBTQ community fucking has been talking about maps and kicking maps out of their fucking ranks forever. They are the ones who defend and protect themselves, you know. And also, fuck this fucking disgusting piece of shit.
People have already gotten much of their rights all throughout the world. I think it's time for pedophiles to have their turn.
Shut up! Shut up!
She only showed one clip in this entire compilation where she was actually, by the way, pushing back on some of this shit in terms of like, we should separate the LGBTQ plus from the entire like groomer stuff. There's of this whole like compilation so far.
This right here is what triggers my timbers. Gay, consenting adults
another one
can do whatever they want with other gay, consenting adults. A pedophile's sexuality, children aren't a gender, so it's not a sexuality, but like I've said before, cannot go through with their sick fetish without harming anybody. Speaking as a gayman, I believe we should include the P. To do otherwise is to betray the principles that give us our rights. For the last f***ing time.
You can't sit with
us! My main point in a lot of those videos was, you can't sit with us. Nearly a decade of content of me going, this is really bad, the LGBT community isn't defending this, only for a chunk of the left to suddenly go, stop right there, Hitler. Shoe never seems to go after right-wing shit. I wonder why that is.
This is like non-stop. And yeah, I agree with that tweet. I wonder why that is. You bring up the same talking points that people who just want to outright vilify LGBTQ plus people, those are their talking points. And then you regurgitate them. And then yes, you add at the end, hey, by the way, the fucking, you know, the queers don't want anything to do with this. Cool and normal. But you're still amplifying those stories. Amplifying a story that directly reminds and or signals to people who want to vilify gay people is like, well, some of them are pedos, so fucking we gotta be careful. They can consent in the bedroom if they're both adults, fine, but I don't want them to ever be able to adopt kids and be around children because you never know with them pedos. Well, yeah, that's the effect you're having. You're not like hiding behind the corner here, and you can't like use that as your defense.
Okay, I only make maybe like what, 5 videos a year. It shouldn't be that hard to go onto my page and scroll and just see this video, which is about exactly that. Like, it's right there. You don't even have to scroll. It's right there. Like, I made my prostasia video about a year ago. Remember my prostasia video where I exposed some child protection organization? What if I posted that?
Didn't a bunch of people, I haven't looked into that. I haven't gone down this rabbit hole, so I don't have the research ready on hand, but didn't a bunch of people like dissect her video on that, and it turns out it was like extremely icy? I have heard this. I do not know firsthand, but I'm just asking to see what the brilliance of the chats say. Demon Mama has refuted the Shoes video on that. Okay. I don't know anything about that organization. I can't say it off the top of my head.
That video today.
No one has mentioned Balenciaga in any of the tweets. Yeah, we haven't had a single tweet in this entire video defending Balenciaga. They're just like, you suck.
Would I be bombarded with these same people and called a Nazi and a reactionary and whatever? Because the only people that were doing that last year was the organization itself. The pedo organization was calling me alt-right for exposing them. That's you.
I want to look into that because I have heard that like once you actually go into the details, that's once again yet another fucking pedo hunter Shoe0nHead. Like, this is your fucking entire genre. It's going after, like, if you cared so much about pedophiles, why wouldn't you go after the actual pedophiles? It's always like, I found yet another thing. Did you hear about NAMBLA? And it's like, yeah, everyone knows about NAMBLA. That like fucking that's disgusting. Like, if you are a pedophile, you should seek help. You shouldn't be in an organization that tries to validate who you are. You should go get fucking immediate like therapy to try and, you know, be a normal part of society. And if you're an offending pedophile, you should be in jail because you shouldn't be allowed to offend and fucking molest children. That's pretty much all there is to it. Why do we need an entire video being like, oh, did you hear this organization MAPS that apparently hides under the gay umbrella, but the gays don't want to stand for it? But it's pretty fucked up that MAPS molests kids and they also kind of hide under the gay shit, right? But I also think that they, you know, us gays, we don't tolerate that stuff. But it's kind of fucking crazy, isn't it? That MAPS has gays amongst them and they're molesting kids. You know, the same thing all the right-wingers. But I add the second part. The right doesn't add the second part. I add the second part. That makes it okay. That's why we're
you
different.
right now. It's a pattern from Shoe that she had for years. Even though she didn't say gay groomer out loud, it can be seen as a dog whistle. Shoe may not have said anything about LGBTQ plus people out loud, but we can hear the dog whistle from miles away. Shoe knows exactly.
I just get weird vibes from people who make their whole life or whole thing hating pedos. I feel like it's low hanging fruit or something. Like they just pick these. Well, yeah, it's the most fucking. It's the worst thing you can be in society. It's the final stage. There's nothing worse that a human being can be than a pedophile. So yeah, I have now dedicated my life to going after the worst possible thing. And then it's like, cool, so what do? Oh, I burn Balenciaga shoes. Yeah, I round up people's Balenciaga shoes and we burn them in barbecues. Take that, pedophiles. We gotcha.
Exactly what she's doing. 31-year-old knows exactly what she's doing. That's the thing. She did not mention gay and trans people. We know that she is thinking it, and so does her audience. It's called a dog whistle. She hides behind technically not saying anything explicit. Stop falling for her.
Wait, okay, so this is YouTube. Are these all comments from Xander Hall's video? Did she mine Xander Hall's video for comments? I can't confirm that. I don't know that for a fact, but I would assume that would probably be the first place to go to find this kind of stuff.
Her dog whistling tactic. Just because she didn't say gay doesn't mean that it's not what she's implying. The sheer amount of people who still don't know that Shoe0nHead is a dog whistle. Her name is a dog whistle. It always was.
So of all the POVs, Shoe, I'll agree with you. This is extremely weird. Okay. I also don't agree with the bi-erasure one, so I'll add those two. But also, why is the majority of this 30-minute why I left the left video or why I was canceled video fucking POV tweets? Like, oh, look at all the wild things people are saying. Like, I could make fucking hours and hours and hours of content if I just harvested all the hate comments that are in every one of my social medias. We all could. Anyone who has a fucking online presence could do that for fucking years.
It's so funny to me that you can literally breathe and these people will find a way to make it a dog whistle, but a child could be holding a teddy bear in bondage gear in a fashion ad, and they call you a crazy conspiracy theorist for pointing it out. And they love to do this gaslighting shit.
Yo. Not for pointing it out. You can point it out and be like, this is gross, and that would have been the end of the story. You took two separate photo shoots, put them together, and then everyone was like, oh shit, pedo codes. And now the fucking pedo codes and hashtag burn Balenciaga is fucking dominating the internet. That's what happened. And guess what? The far right, who hate LGBTQ plus people, they're the ones associating the entire thing with LGBTQ plus. Like, so whether you like it or not, this is not a choice that any of us have. It's just happening in real time. That's reality.
Shit, right? They try to make you feel crazy for thinking something like most normal people would think is weird. Literal soup brain. Leather isn't innately related to BDSM. What's wrong with a child seeing BDSM gear? The child does not know it's sexual. What harm comes from this?
We go to the
Who
defense.
gives a shit, dude?
Okay,
it's a
so
kid holding a teddy bear.
So for the first like, I don't know, 19 minutes. Yeah, there wasn't a single tweet that was like defending Balenciaga, but now we have her pointing out tweets that are defending the Balenciaga ad. This is what the tweets that you showed should have been, so you could push back against these, and then that could have been fucking one course of action. Still not, you know, obviously doing any kind of restorative justice. You're still not acknowledging you've done anything bad, anything wrong, blah, blah, blah.
How traumatizing. People love to misunderstand fashion. It's so tiring. It's not pedophilia, it's fashion, Mom. Look it up. Is putting a leather harness on a dog BDSM too?
This child is not being mutilated. It is just holding a...
Oh wow, Demon Mama got the straight up call out. Xander Hall would not be mentioned by name, but Demon Mama not only mentioned by name, straight up put up on screen in 4K.
bear that happens to have a leather strap on it. Petco.com. Oh no, they're selling pedophile wear.
Come on, Shoe. That's funny. You gotta admit, that's funny. Either way, yeah, by the way, you can call it gross, you can say it's tasteless, but again, is that pedophilia? We have to be very clear on this, because if we're talking about the sexual abuse of children, is a child being sexually abused if they see a teddy bear that has on a leather jacket? Is that the same as that child being sexually abused? And do you realize why it's really dangerous to kind of start to muddy the waters and conflate those things? Because it opens the door to what the right is doing right now, where anything they don't like primarily LGBTQ+, they can start to associate with pedophilia. It gives them more power to do that. You open up this whole definition. It's like, why is fucking James Lindsay and Ben Shapiro literally changing the definition of grooming right now? They both have done it. James Lindsay wrote this little post that I always see in my replies when people are trying to groomer me just for being fucking bi, where it's just like grooming, the act of introducing children through ideology into potentially adult behaviors that can include sexual behavior and may be for the purpose of molesting a child. It's like, whoa, you've redefined it. You've added this whole new paragraph. And by that definition, holy shit. Everything is fucking grooming. If you play video games with your kid, I play video games as an adult. If you fucking play soccer with your kid, I don't play soccer. Okay, that one's bad. I play badminton. There you go. I did it. If, you know, it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you read books, I read books as an adult. Do you listen to music? I listen to music as an adult. I watch movies. I watch movies as an adult. Is that every single one of those? Grooming activity. You know, if I do that with one of my nieces or nephews, is that an act, a fucking violation of their consent in any way, shape, or form? Do you understand all this? Like, that's the problem. That's the problem with trying to find the fucking expand the definitions of all these words and make people think, well, yeah, this is also pedophilia.
I'm sorry, you can't.
You could say it's tasteless, it's gross, it's fucking disgusting, it's in service of being edgy. That's all different than this is literally pedophilia. This is a person sexually molesting a child.
Fool, a degenerate. That is a BDSM harness.
Maybe Shoe0nHead sees a piece of leather next to a child and starts getting a little.
Damn, Demon Mama, the double call out. I don't get it, Shoe0n. Are you trying to salvage the Xander Hall friendship? Why? Like, you went through such lengths. We all know who that was. I don't even watch Xander Hall, but I'm tuned into this story enough that I knew that was Xander Hall's tweet on there. And you were then like, and I used to be friends with this person, okay? We were close friends. Why would you do this to me? Shame on you. This is like, all right, let's just cue up that Demon Mama clip. We got another one here, but oh, this one will make her look really bad. Okay, all right, we're ready.
You know, riled up. Maybe it's a little bit of projection on Shoe0nHead's part.
Oh, you think this looks weird? Well, you must be a pedophile yourself. Wow, got him. This shit went viral on like normie Twitter and Facebook and TikTok. There were like Zoomer girls on TikTok like, oh my god, this shit crazy, for real, this shit not bussin'. And you're over here pretending it's perfectly fine and not weird and only Nazis and pedophiles would have a problem with this. Okay. Just reject the evidence of your eyes and ears. Balenciaga better be paying you people good, because if they're not, that's even more pathetic. They should at least throw you like one of those $3,000 high-heeled Crocs or whatever the f***. Like the brand itself even admitted it was weird, yet you're over here running defense for them for free. Even
I have something I want to submit into evidence. So, if you were someone who talks about Pokemon, you know that it is catered to children. So the idea of perhaps doing adult activities, such as smoking marijuana or having sex, and associating that with something childish could be seen as hardcore grooming. And what's this? Shoe0nHead, 7 months ago. E-Woman does Pokemon Smash or Pass Challenge 420 edition and fails. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think this is grooming. I don't think this is pedophilia. I think this is someone just having fun on the internet and making a silly segment. I don't think Shoe0nHead made this because she's a pedophile. I don't think Shoe0nHead made this because she wants to activate or wink or signal to pedophiles. But if I was to make an internet conspiracy theory about this, holy shit, we got a lot of things here. A smash or pass on every single Pokemon, or did you just do a select few? The sexiest, huh? I wonder who won, who was at the top, and smoking weed while you did it. Again, this is not pedophilia. It's not. But you can understand why you are doing the same thing. You're taking things and you're associating them together. And I'm not talking just about Balenciaga. I agree with you. That ad, disgusting, gross, fine. I'm not here to defend Balenciaga. Fuck Balenciaga. But at the same time, when you say things like drag queen story hour, I don't want to be gaslit that this is normal. Look, the kids are playing musical chairs. That's the same as lap dances. It's not going to lick itself. And you're like, okay, I will grant you, maybe they should have covered up that sign, especially if children are going to be present. I'm not even saying from an optics perspective. I'm like, just cover up the sign. But that sign is publicly displayed at an ice cream store that is also in that same area. It's just a little bit of a distance to get there, but you can get there. And it's in the store. And kids go into that store every single day. And when the kids go into that store every single day and look up at the giant neon sign that says it's not going to lick itself, do you think every single one of them is being molested? Do Do you think they're being pedophiled? Do you think they're like, oh, and they're looking up? Like, do you think that's a real thing? I don't think you do. I think you realize how absurd this all is and how this entire thing fucking vilifies LGBTQ plus people for the benefit of the right. That's it.
More annoying than the gaslighting has to be the whataboutism. I see whataboutism all the time when I make content. When I talk about police brutality, what about violence against police officers? When I talk about men being cringe, what about women being cringe? When I talk about women being cringe, what about men being cringe? You can always tell when someone doesn't really have a point or they are low-key defending the thing you're talking about when they do this what about.
Defending fucking, that's such a right-wing tactic, by the way. That's such a thing where you're like, oh, by the way, you're vilifying LGBTQ plus people by saying that that was a grooming event because they didn't groom anyone. So that's fucked up. You shouldn't do that, Tim Pool. And then immediately the replies are like, oh, fucking, of course, serfs would defend the groomers. Yeah, one groomer defends another. Oh, look, yet another groomer defending the groomers. Yeah, fucking, of course, yeah, groomer behavior. And you're like, no, I'm not defending people who do real grooming. I think that's abhorrent. I'm saying that calling that grooming is fucked up. You're protecting groomers. Like, this is all fucking running cover for actual pedophiles and groomers. Pedophiles and groomers who are fucking committing acts of fucking child sexual abuse or trying to lure children online. Oh, great. I don't have the pedo hunters after me. They're looking through the Balenciaga fucking catalog right now. They're just rifling through the Balenciaga catalog, being like, no, we got it. Look at this. Fucking, we're code. More code. Look, Satan.
About shit. And every time you want to talk about weirdo shit involving children, there's like 12 motherfuckers that crawl out of a rock. Like, notice how they never talk about child beauty contests.
Well, no shit. Why don't you ever talk about child marriages? I know you're going to be like, everyone knows child beauty contests are fucking disgusting. Okay, that one's done. I want to talk about something no one's ever talked about. Maps. First time anyone's ever going to hear about maps.
All this political theater from you, yet not one mention of banning child beauty pageants. All this outrage, but nothing about child beauty pageants. Oh yeah? You're talking about this bad thing? What about this other bad thing? What is this, the all lives matter of f***ing pedophilia? Multiple things can be—
Okay, so number of children that have been confirmed to have been sexually abused by Balenciaga through their advertising campaign as of right now, 0. That's the current amount. So as of right now, there could be people in the future, there could be cases in the future, I don't know. But as of right now, that's the current amount. If you were to Google it, that's what you will return in the search history. Number of child marriages in the United States since, I believe, 2008, hundreds of thousands. So there's one case in which amplifying one story would probably help towards directing. It's not as fun. I'll grant you, it's really not as fun. It's very sad and gross and fucking horrifying to just suddenly see that the vast majority of them happen to be situations where it's old dudes marrying very young kids. It's fucking, yeah, it's disgusting. But if you want to hunt pedophiles, and that's your goal, and you want to bring attention to pedophilic behavior, that would be a very, very good place to start. The Catholic Church is another. Again, it's probably not going to get as many clicks, probably going to be very sad. Very, very sad. Like, it's not something you can have, like, a hip-hop song in the background, bump, 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 yeah, and then another priest raped somebody, bump, 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 yeah, the little kid was, like, 6 years old, bump, 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 bump. No, it won't have the same kind of, like, you know, aesthetics or flow, but that would actually help. That would actually help towards fucking, you know, maybe contributing towards a situation that is horrifying. That there should be some attention drawn to. That would, like... But the fact that you always focus on this kind of shit, that's the problem. That's why people bring up beauty pageants to you, hoping that at a certain point you're going to be like, oh, I get it. It's because I'm always going after things that don't actually statistically show to have really high rates of pedophilia compared to the actual institutionalized pedophilic organizations.
Bad at once. But it's not 2005. We're not middle-aged mothers from the South. Nobody is out here defending child beauty pageants. This is so weird because Shoe has talked about Kink and BDSM in her videos before. She's a hypocrite. I could be wearing a full BDSM harness right now. I could be wearing a full GIMP suit, but it would not matter because my content is not made for children. I am an adult who—
Okay, but why are these age restricted? Okay, hold on. Pokemon Smash or Pass. No, it seems to be a genre, by the way. Anyways, there's— oh god, Vosh, no! J'accuse all of you.
Hello friends, I have been gone for the internet, taking a break. Sweet little angel, sexy slut, without a doubt, without a doubt. Oh my god! No. No, and f you. It's a pretty big mouth. Perhaps can fit the whole booty in. This is an onion. No. F moths. I hate moths. They just like flutter everywhere and they're made of dust. God's mistake. Too cute. Too cute. Also too cute. It's the Hanson brothers!
It's not age restricted. I would assume, because it's content that could show up in a search result if a kid was looking up Pokemon. You know, like Pokemon Smash would be an easy search result where that could appear. I don't think you're intentionally doing that to lure children in to watch your very strange video talking about which Pokemon you want to fuck. But like people who want to spread conspiracy theories about that could do such a thing. You understand why it's ridiculous in one direction and not the other.
Makes content for adults. You either have a room temperature IQ or you're coping. Shoe is Catholic but never calls out the pedophilia of the Catholic Church. Has June ever talked about pedophilia in the church? I can't find her mentioning it. And again, these people don't watch my content. Hell, I even had a joke about it in my prostasia video.
You had a joke about it.
It's tax exempted. It is a tax exempted.
A joke is... I had a joke, okay? I am absolved. I have made a haha.
Okay. So it's a church. Also, hold on.
Say Catholic. You couldn't even put Catholic in. You just said church. That's not. That's goddamn. That's the biggest reach. I am absolved. Excuse me. Dare you say I've never called out the Catholic Church? I even made a joke about it in another video where I really went after the pedos online.
Remember Cuties? Remember when Cuties came out? Cuties, which, much like the Balenciaga thing, had nothing to do with LGBT people. And like a dozen articles came out from liberal journalists about how like everyone criticizing it is alt-right. Cuties, the extraordinary Netflix debut that became the target of a right-wing campaign. The controversy surrounding it seems to be propaganda fueled by QAnon types and anti-Semites. Audiences hate it because there's a moral panic right-wing campaign targeting it. Wrong. Leftists like Shoe0nHead and Vosh are critical of the film. Shoe0nHead is a notorious alt-right asshole. Also, you just tagged 2 aggressive, horrible accounts. Please delete that tweet. You're putting people on the thread at risk. And was Cuties not basically beauty pageant shit? It had nothing to do with gay people. And once again, we were calling it out. And where were you? Calling us f***ing Nazis. It doesn't f***ing matter. It doesn't matter if it's gay or straight. It doesn't matter if it's a giant corporation or a Netflix movie. They will find a way to call me alt-right for talking about this shit. The absolute urgency and ease at which these people jump on the most optically disastrous swords is both horrifying and incredible to me. The term map went from something on Tumblr that I talked about 7 years ago to now real hired academics using the term.
Stigma against maps is a problem in part because it makes maps think that they're monsters. That's really problematic in terms of map well-being. It's really hard to cope when you think you're a terrible person because you have attractions that you can't change.
And I'm a licensed professional counselor and sex therapist in Erie, Pennsylvania. And today I want to talk about minor attracted persons. Most folks are making incorrect assumptions about them without actually knowing much about them. And those assumptions create harm for an already marginalized.
Like the testimony of 2 people. What are we doing here? Why is it always maps, Shoe?
Population.
Notice the familiar language they're using. They are co-opting progressive language. And I want the community, I want people in...
Look, I don't know anything about fucking whatever work psychiatrists do to try and deprogram pedos or stuff like that, but I think you'd both agree that if they are registered psychologists or psychiatrists who are like, hey, by the way, I want to have less offending pedophiles in the world, and here's how I want to go about it, that's probably better than I want there to be offending pedophiles who don't have any treatment or whatever. That would probably be a net good for society if less people were out there. I have no idea.
general to get ahead of this. But no, apparently MAP is just a right-wing psyop, and I'm just a reactionary, and blah 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 blah. I feel like the crazy scientist.
MAP is not a progressive language. It's pretty sure. I think it's just one of those things that's been so blown up on the internet. I mean, it's not one of the things I have enough like confidence speaking about, but it's one of those things that I saw in early internet culture being used all the time to vilify LGBTQ plus people, and used primarily by far-right trolls or far-right 4chan fucking alt-right shit, where they would just talk about it and always try to associate. It's the time-honored tradition where it's like, queer people, there's like a section of them, a subset of them, where they're trying to like get into the gay community. The vast majority of pedophiles are straight cis men. The vast majority. If you want to hunt pedophiles, hunt them, go after them, find their organizations, find fucking how they hide, go after fucking the Republican Party. Hundreds of fucking politicians, hundreds of Republican politicians either fucking being pedophiles or trafficking children. Make a video on Matt Gaetz. Do you have a Matt Gaetz video coming out? I'd like to see that one. Bump, 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 bump. That would be fucking awesome. Instead, it's like, yeah, it's the thing that everyone else on the far right also talks about when they hunt for pedos. But I add the fucking gay credibility to it. That's the check mark at the end that you get with the Shoe0nHead. It's the same as the right-wing reactionary video that also vilifies LGBTQ plus people. But at the very end, I say this as someone who is bi, and so that adds that to that. So that's an extra part.
In the beginning of a disaster movie that nobody believes, and then it's like too late. And what's upsetting to me, as a socialist, what's upsetting to me is the progressive movement.
What does this have to do with socialism?
Or whatever this is, I don't even know what this is, in the near future is going to wind up at the least ignoring and at the most defending some real disgusting shit in the near future in fear of giving the right ammo. There are right-wing people who are constantly calling everything and anything to do with pedophilia, like gay shit, LGBT shit. Yes, I get it. I have a bi flag in the background of some of my videos, and I get comments like, nice groomer flag. Like, I get it. But how long should we not say anything in fear of giving them ammo? Because
but let's continue to throw kerosene on the whole thing, because fuck it.
This was probably the most clear-cut example of something weird.
But it wasn't, because you lied. You mixed two different campaigns together. You fused them. You did a pedo fusion, and then everyone was like, whoa, activate. And even then, I'm not fucking defending it. Man, it's fucking weird and gross. Fuck Balenciaga, but stop lying. You have to stop lying.
Weird and gross, completely unrelated to gay people, and these people still did.
You know Pedro, you two know each other on a first name basis. You exchange fucking back and forth publicly, by the way, where you're like, Pedro, look away. And he's like, Shoe0nHead, blah, blah, blah. Like, come on. Oh, sorry, he calls you Shoe. Like, you both knew each other. That wasn't a random weirdo on the internet who was just quote tweeting you. And if it was, wouldn't you want to call out this far-right fascist who's just fucking slandering the rest of the LGBTQ by adding the grooming thing, wrapping the whole thing into a nice little package? You know? Wouldn't you be like, oh, that's fucked up. This guy's fucking disgusting. That would be the normal response from someone who also didn't agree with what he was doing. Not one of your friends calling you out. One of your friends being like, what the fuck are you doing, Shoe?
Did damage control for it. If anything would ever give the right ammo, it's the way you acted so quickly to defend this shit. And yes, by implying I can't talk about it, or I'm committing scholastic terrorism, or whatever the f.
Sarcastic. And no one's saying that you can't talk about these kind of things. We're saying that you lied, that you lied. Intentionally or unintentionally, you still lied. You combined two different ads together, and that's what fucking made everyone think that there's a whole bunch of pedo codes. And that's also, by the way, it could be that there's a secret pedophile cult that is being run by Balenciaga, where they're trying to activate pedos, and or they have some secret, I don't know, chamber of children. Who knows? That could be a thing. And then knowing that you would eventually uncover the secrets of within, they decided to delete their Twitter accounts and their Instagram accounts and all that kind of stuff. That could be a potential reality. That's one possible. That's the timeline. That is. There's the other one in which a massive corporation facing the enormous both internet backlash and subsequent movement that reached all the way to the heights of the biggest celebrities, and people are fucking burning their clothing now. Well, could be in response to that they issued an immediate apology and then took all the fucking shit down. Could be one of those two. Could also be that they didn't want to advertise on Twitter because Twitter is a fucking alt-right cesspool. I don't know. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but I'm just saying.
the new buzzword is, that is defending this. This shit that anyone with eyes can see is creepy. I have been talking about this stuff all of my career, and I have a great track record. I was talking about maps years ago, and now there's hired academics using the term. I warned about Amos Yee, who said I was too mean to pedophiles, and he was arrested for having CP. I exposed—
That's a win. I'll give you that one, Shub. That one's a win. I don't think you're responsible for that. I mean, at the same token, fucking Sargon of Akkad might try and take credit, even though he's trying to normalize his pedo shit. But yeah, that's good. It's good to call it Amos Yee. He was a pedophile.
Prostasia, then they shut down their forum so young maps could no longer enter it. I helped get the word out about this Balenciaga thing, and even the brand itself had to admit it was creepy and is now doing an investigation into it. I don't care if you yourself don't want to talk about this stuff. I don't care. You do you, I will do me. But all I ask is that you stay out of my way when I am doing me. And
fuck off. If you post cringe, if you post yikes, you better fucking believe people are gonna call out that cringe and yikes. If you lie, people are gonna call out the lies. You lied in this video so fucking blatantly, like in 4K, where you're straight up like, am I responsible for some random weirdo I don't even know? It's like, no, not only do you know this person, you know each other on a first name basis. God damn.
just know that I am not sorry, I did nothing wrong, and I will do it again.
Cool
Goodbye.
stuff. Cool stuff. I'm never gonna stop. I'm going to keep spreading conspiracy theories and getting people real big mad. Good stuff. Still lying. This is just obnoxious. Yeah, I mean, at this point. It's pretty ridiculous, though. I mean, all I gotta say is, get excited for an upcoming Hey It's Vadim video. I can't announce when, but there will be some, shall we say, revelations in it. Do you enjoy the Serfs, but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form. Available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free, just like the podcast.
To our gods, Xander Corvus and Peyton L. Juste, we shall spend many a generations building mighty cathedrals in your honor. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, we are but your oafish jesters, here to offer you a laugh at any opportunity. To our brave knights of the Round Table, Rachel K., Izzy Solidarity, Victoria Bell, Sebastian Demmel, Mark Harmon, Benji Arney, Scary Earth Human, Tony, DM Rivera, Resident Scarecrow, Sir Nickus, Cheryl Alvarez, Ruby Kelly, Brandon, Words Greenwood, Everything Important, Hegbert Celine, Matthew Scarborough, Stellar Vision, Ariane McCarthy, Doug Cady, Daniel Sutton, Jenna Tao, Dark Puppy, Quiet One 85, Anna Loves Riley, Omni, Riley and Anna, Poodlehawk, Multimondi, Trevbot EXE, Brian Ephraim, Anthropophojack, Catherine, Ramon Acosta, Nkosin, Ralph Parler, Violent Orchard, Political Puppy, La Media Panza, Todd Buckingham, and Todd La Jeunesse. We salute our valiant heroes off to fight injustice everywhere.